All right. Now, sweet. So, basically, what we're going to do is talk about what people are excited for, what they're interested in, divvy up who's going to be what. There is a Rast and a human in the can, so that I've always got a token human, because you need the token, I find. Which is sort of the opposite, apparently, of how these games tend to happen. I guess people in Idaho are so bored of humans already. That and potatoes. So the other options are the elder space mammals that have been running amok for 1,000 years. The insects. Humans are still on the table. There's, of course, I'm ripping off Traxagore from Adam Lee. Don't tell anyone. For the Rast. Right. But then other than that, like you guys were talking about being bug people, for example, and we can have 2 bug people as long as CalmScript is being a friend.
Well, I'm cool with being a bug person.
I'm not the only person here. I talked earlier, and literally no one but Lampe was talking, and he didn't even acknowledge me.
What?
That's weird, because I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I didn't
hear you.
So
I suppose it's not weird, but...
I heard noises, but I didn't hear you say anything. I just heard occasionally fans or whatever.
Yeah, I've only been hearing Lampe, and so I've just been like, are we like on muted or something? What's happening?
Yeah, I was starting to get nervous again, because like during a very important soliloquy not long ago, I didn't realize it.
Great.
And that was a bad time for me. But anyway, so this should be very exciting. I'll start off with a brief overview of the history. Humanity takes being what's the word I want to use here? They take neoliberal space as extreme as they have in Milky Way Alliance, but for longer, which leads to interstellar genocide, the consumption of the planet Earth to the extent that it is no longer habitable, so their capital world is Mars. They just like fuck off, and we become horrific imperial space locusts. We're basically the bad guys from ID4, which is a little more than a little ironic. If you live long enough, you get to see yourself become the villain, I guess. Anyhow, well, I prefer 2069 for obvious reasons.
You know, you constantly, like, every time I love listening to you explain things, because every time you try to explain stuff, you always make references to things that I'm sure I should probably know. Every time it's like there's like 3 or 4 things that I'm like, I don't know what that is. He's trying to give me a basis of comparison, and yet nothing.
ID4 is the short tag for Independence Day. The film. The film
I've
where
watched a single Independence Day, and I don't even know which one it was. It was one of the more recent ones because I went and saw it in movie theaters with my ex-boyfriend. I
am so old. I have to be reminded that there's more than one because I only remember the first film. Yeah, that's where Will Smith says "Welcome to Earth" and punches the exoskeleton so hard that it knocks out the alien who is driving it. It's fucking awesome. Not bad for a pilot. Bear that in mind when you're rolling up your characters, just in case your pilot needs to punch out an alien that's still in its power armor. You did not shoot that green shit at me. It's pretty good as far as that kind of thing goes. They have Brett Spiner in there as the nerd from. Why am I talking about this? It's weirdly appropriate given the circumstances, because there's certain things from that I do find. I've been thinking about that film a lot since I was reading this material, because of the irony of humanity becoming the very thing that it used to see as the kind of evil from space. Then we become the evil from space, and then perform genocide on the wrong species whose friends show up. And the funny thing too is, like, humans at this point are obsessed with production and technology. And they're like, we're able to pump out, like, we're new to space compared to some of these people for sure. But the technology that we're able to put out there is fairly comparable, and we're pumping it out at incredible rates. So, like, we're sort of in there. Whereas the Thren are looking at us like, yeah, sure, but we've been putting stuff in space since you discovered steel. So, you really just do not have a chance. And it's funny because that becomes clear after about 40 years of war. Humanity stands no chance at all, is completely lost. They're never going to see space again unless they surrender. And for 5 more years, they just turtle down on every planet they still control, being a huge pain in the ass.
That's because humanity.
Yes.
Yep.
That is exactly what would happen. And you know why? Because they watched too many of those fucking films without realizing that they'd become the villains of those very films. Amazing. That, and then we didn't get eaten by xenomorphs, which I'm sure would have solved many of those problems. I don't know. I haven't watched anything since Prometheus came out, let alone any of the new shit.
What the fuck is Prometheus? I know
Yeah.
it's wrong. I know
No,
it's
that's a good
original
question.
story.
What the fuck is Prometheus? It's in the Alien universe, apparently.
It is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I really don't think you're talking about the original Prometheus right now.
These fuckers go to space, and it was a bad idea.
Well, it's usually a bad idea.
That's all I know about it.
For the record, going to space is in many ways a bad idea. For humanity, it is necessary and either inevitable or our extinction is. You either get one or the other. As Carl Sagan and Neil deGrasse Tyson have both pointed out. But, you know, we're still in that state right now where we could just be completely annihilated by shit we barely understand and not even see it coming.
Oh God, please let it happen.
There are days, right? Where's the random gamma ray burst that'll just burn this whole solar system to dust? Because I'm through. Anyway, so yeah, we have the Indomitable Human Empire. The conquest of humanity became such a massive undertaking, along with the uniting of the coalition of sister species, which is basically the Thren and the insects, that it's what the time scale is now based on. Like, that is the beginning of the era, and it was only 50 years ago.
Keep on calling them the insects, but it says right here they're called the Murai.
Well, you know,
Am I pronouncing that right, Spider Queen? Murai?
The Murai are my babies.
I'm like I want to say Murai. Yeah, is that Muri or Murai?
I would answer in terms
Yeah,
of
Murai.
Murai, like Asian. It's like
Murai.
It's like Japanese. That's my initial instinct because I'm a fucking weeb. And so anytime I see a word that could feasibly be written in Romaji, I would immediately go to like, it's gotta be pronounced that way, right?
Oh,
This is
apparently
what I put up with,
it's
by the
more
way.
Chinesey or something.
It's more
Right.
Chinese or something.
Is Spider Queen a she?
Yes.
I don't know your pronouns.
Yes. Patty is a native.
She speaks Chinese. It doesn't necessarily mean it is Chinese, though it probably is.
Gosh. Yeah, I should have mentioned this earlier. I don't know. I think it probably came up once. Patty is also a polyglot. So Patty is working in a depth of linguistics that is at least as good as mine, which is amazing.
Are you? Patty is queen.
Patty goes by many names.
And currently is going by Spider Queen Long.
I am Patty.
Is there a
Yes.
Spider Queen short?
Well, see, my initial instinct to Spider Queen Long is to call you daddy like a daddy long.
Patty, I'm sure Patty would love for you to call her daddy.
Well, because like the daddy long leg, you know? And when I have daddy long legs, they're still daddy long legs. Yeah! Hey, look at me! Oh, I love being smart. Awesome. Love.
All right,
forgetting
so
there's gin in
the
there.
Murai and the Thren.
Yes. That
Of
was
course,
the
Murai probably isn't actually pronounced Murai because the Murai don't have vocal cords or mouths.
they
speak.
they generate sounds in order to communicate with others, but and this is like some of the stuff that they did is weirdly similar to stuff that we did 15 years ago. But a lot of their communication is pheromone based. So they emit odors in order to communicate. Which is one of the reasons why they are a eurosocial species instead of a hive mind, because a hive mind would indicate that they have some kind of psychic gestalt, which is not the case. They communicate biochemically, which is more efficient than language for a number of reasons, especially when it's loud, because there's lots of people in a very small space, such as a hive.
So this is important. The Murai is a word that the Threns call them, and it means far sister.
Yeah,
and that's important.
And that's important too, because human patriarchy, despite our claims of that being like part of our past, doesn't go away until the sister species, which are called that because the Thren are matriarchal, and of course the insects are matriarchal. They're fucking insects, right? It's sort of, you kind of have to be, or you're not doing it right.
I'm not even sure they have paters to have a patriarchy.
Paters. They have drones for sure, and I'm pretty
they have
sure
drones, but the drones.
Well, yeah, the worker drones are bio-autonomous units, which is fucking cool, and I'm sure really efficient. The humans were very stupid to kill them instead of trying to figure out how to take them, but that's lawful evil versus chaotic evil, I suppose. Anyhow, yeah, so they do have individuals in certain cases, and the individuals, sort of like the prawn in Section 9. That's Section 9, right? Or Section 9 and
District 9?
District 9, thank you. Yes, District 9. Like the prawns in District 9, or the Goblin Princesses. They have Goblin Princesses. They have idiots that just do whatever, and then they have an aristocracy of females, and between them there is autonomous individuals, the way that humanoids tend to operate, which are effectively humanoid, except for the abdomen, which makes uniforms very complicated, I take it. I was watching a live stream where they were talking about that, and they were just like, yeah, we'll just deal with it later. And then Lee kept joking about his abdomen. It was hilarious. His badonkadonk at one point. I'm not doing it justice. If you watch the stream, it's the funniest thing that happens.
I have to ask, on that note, does that mean they're like ants in that when ants need both chromosomes to make females, but if there's only one chromosome, they automatically become a boy and thus drone? So when they do that, does it make when they hold on, home stuff, because that's literally what they're when they send the genetic information over, does it make females?
Produces sperm during the month of the season. See, that's the kind of shit I was about to say. I think that our concept of sexuality probably maps very poorly onto their society, let alone gender.
Yeah.
But the Mirai are the ones that communicated with them. So the way that the Mirai, which are already like a way more sexually diversive species, despite a very limited dimorphism, then humans have to deal with what their language and society has done to translate the existence of insects that probably never really stopped to think about the politics of gender. Because why the hell would they?
I'm sure I'm getting flashbacks to the Hive Island.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Don't bring up our shitty One Piece takes.
No, I'm not doing that. Don't worry about it. We're not doing that.
Yeah, anime is trash. So what we're going to talk about right now, besides just answering these basic questions that you guys are asking, which, as I said, there's a document that's shortened where I cut out all of the extraneous things, except for a lot of art we probably don't actually need, but I can't click the delete key when I have it highlighted. I don't have it in me. I started LampeCreative for a reason, you know what I mean? It's just not what I'm equipped to be able to handle psychologically. But beyond that, this is mostly going to be about what sort of character you want. I have a bunch of precons that should probably be open. I'll do it in another window so that I don't take it.
All right. So I've been playing certain types of characters in Nostria. You know what sort of character it's been a while since I've been playing?
An idiot beatstick?
Yes!
Oh, I'm so good at those.
I got to play one of those in the Cyberpunk one shot. That was fun.
Yeah.
Everybody who plays that character does not understand how much risk they're taking. Although nobody got him killed. A couple of you came. You were barely alive in the back of the truck, as I recall, eventually.
Yeah, but I also lost an eye and use of my arms.
Oh
and,
yes, losing an eye. We had one where the cyber ninja lost both eyes, which was painful and everything, but not a real drawback outside of the fact that it was fucking expensive. So the whole job was just paying to replace her implants, because she got shot in the $11,000. That's another game though.
Okay.
What happens when I click this link? Patty would not lead me to doom for sure. So the way that this system works is not quite what I thought. I still don't really understand it, but what I think we're doing is it's a die pool system where number of successes in a multiple D6 system is what you're going for, and a DC is a number of successes. You get additional dice based on things that modify the roll. So like instead of having an armor class, your armor will add a die that you roll to your defense roll, which is on the table awesome, and digitally actually sort of annoying. But as long as you guys do most of the rolling, I'm sure that's still not going to be an issue.
I am so sorry. I missed all of that because I was reading about the Mirai.
I can't blame you. It's super interesting stuff.
I was mostly getting confused because it has cities, and I think there's supposed to be a comma there? Maybe? I don't know.
I very quickly and very brutally altered the document.
I see.
So we can go ahead. I'll go ahead and take responsibility for that one because I should have had that done days ago. But as I said, now that I'm making 10 YouTube videos a week, I don't know. When I start grad school, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I guess try to start a new West Marches system that's 5th edition so other people can run it. What has just happened to my screen? My screen just radically altered for no reason.
Yeah, that's because apparently when I fuck with it, it decides to...
Oh! I see. These are... Okay, I mean, these might be useful to someone, but this isn't a document that they have access to, because I just copied over the parts that I thought were germane for our use.
I did it for my own sake, because looking at it offended me.
Well, now it can offend other people, too, because it's altered the way that it's displayed, but this is very us. D20 sheet. Yes! Lee gave me access to that. We have that. We have our own version of this that has digital character sheets. And actually, I was making character sheets that I was going to give you guys when you guys told me what kind of character you wanted, and I'd find a precon that was fairly close to that, which was already kind of a bad idea. But I was really proud of the sheets I was making, and then I saw the ones that they made, which are simplicity with soft edges and color coding, and it's all of the shit I like. And so I was like, oh, never mind, this will fucking do. I didn't think digital sheets could do that. I thought that they were all about, just programming the system. I didn't know you could make them fancy like that. I guess if they were going to do it for Wizards of the Coast, they could do it for just about anybody, right? What did you say?
Oh, sorry. I went to Roll20 on the chance that we would be going to Roll20, and I scrolled down, and today's reserve, there's an offer for what's called Ocean Treasure, and it looks really cool because it's full of deep ocean stuff, and you know how we are about ocean stuff.
Yeah, you guys are very actually. There's a module for that, isn't there? One of the episodes is about that. It's the last one. That's the one that has the "they shall not be disclosed to you yet" in them. Yes, not a bad.
Okay.
That's the one we'll invite Matt to.
I don't love the oceans. They're terrifying and monstrous, and I love the little things that live in them because they're absolutely adorable.
That's true. Yeah, like shrimp and squid.
I
And,
look like that.
I will say,
Gopher eel.
I still have to do.
I skimmed through the earlier document you gave to me, Lampe, and I'd
Good.
say one thing that this this system needs is a alien species that has tentacles.
Now that you mention it, it is a little odd that none of them are particularly tentacular as far as the intelligent species go. I mean, there's
But
like
that is
space
because
monsters.
I am arbitrary, and it's not really a valid criticism. That's a personal taste.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure something like that's coming, but now that you mention it, it is a little surprising. Okay, let's see here. This is
Don't look in Rast's pants.
You shouldn't look
Oh, God.
past anyone's pants unless you have their explicit consent and permission.
Do Rast tend to wear them? I always saw Rast as being like the real world equivalent to the Disney cartoon characters that only ever wear a shirt. A lot of the art is just the upper
more
body.
metaphorical.
Yes, metaphorical pants.
The fuck is an octonaut? Oh, never mind. I've heard octonauts. I've seen that show.
What exists? Rast pants? Yeah, so like I'm into the Rast. They're just adorable. So we definitely have a beach stick. We definitely have one, possibly two bugs.
I'm cool with playing a Thren or a bug. So if we want to spread them out, that is fine.
Which ones are the Thren?
The Thren are they're mammalian.
Did
They have
I
horns.
screw
Sorry.
this up? Didn't they
Use
come
a
first?
term
No,
that I'll
they came after.
understand because you keep cutting out just a little bit.
These are three.
You like peter off at the end.
Yeah, he has a picture on the thing.
Radimorph.
What?
Okay, I have to look up that.
Rod Dwarf? What? I try never to eat my dwarf raw. They're always drunk. They want to cook the alcohol out.
In the change stars setting. Holy shit! There's a Reddit. Hey, look, it's that picture. Cool. I found your Reddit posts.
Oh God. As long as you guys don't have a Tumblr. If you guys have a Tumblr, we might as well just give up on the game because she's never coming back.
Okay. So Radimorphs are just people from that place.
From Mradi, I imagine. Or Mrad? Is Mradi plural or collective?
No, it's Rod.
She said Mrad in chat.
Sweet.
Yeah, they're kind of
Mrad.
elfish, kind of. They have the horns,
Apparently,
kind of hippies.
your horns denote your level of maturity. That might just be cultural. I don't know if it's like actually true. It might just be something they believe. Which means that it probably varies depending on where you're at because they've been in space a long time. Which means that if they have colloquial tendencies, and they almost certainly do, for reasons I cannot get into right now, but I'm getting my master's in. Extrapolated it through the hermeneutics of examining the text.
Okay.
Always,
They grow longer with age.
always back to the text. Yeah.
Well, they tend to, but does that mean? But like, is that if your age is the same, but one just happens to have smaller horns, are they respected slightly less? Like, how's that? Because social dynamic.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
because-
If you go under physical appearance, it mentions both long and short horns. So shorter horns make you look more youthful. Longer horns make you look more mature.
Yeah, whereas
Well, I
they
mean-
have almost no dimorphism. So unless you're, it's Terry Pratchett's dwarves the other way. So unless you're very much invested in whatever is going on with this person, what's in their pants probably isn't that important. And
Okay.
you're not guessing what it is until you know them pretty well, probably. And their society has a tendency to not only reflect that, but still has
I
very.
mean, we'll worry about that later. We're on stream right now.
No, I'm sure that we have plenty of images of various genitalia. Patty has been very kind to overflow our NSFW.
Yes, and we greatly appreciate it.
No, it's like fucking awesome shit though, is the thing.
Yeah.
Actual photographers would be sad at some of it. Oh, that reminds me. I did ask for not a bow tie, a tie, a bowler hat, and a monocle. Because I can do them, but it'll look stupid because this is all sketched, and even if I can match the color toning, which I might be able to pull off with my software, I'm not going to sketch the parts because it'll look very obviously foreign to the image. But if the answer is no, I'll figure out a way to make do.
Now, I have a question. Is there a systematic hierarchy in place with age as an influence over it? Or is that simply a basis to basis where some people are assholes and some people are not assholes?
Wow. Well, there's a lag. So my immediate thought before we get the actual response here is that you would tend to have hierarchies of knowledge and experience, which would mean that to an extent, older people are more likely to be in charge of things. But beyond that, I couldn't really say.
I mean,
I'm going to open the window because it's
I mean,
87 degrees and climbing, and I'm sweating all over my very expensive
like
headset.
that's an easy thing
Which
to
might already
just
be
like
broken.
extrapolate to. But I'm talking like
I'm also sweating all over my very expensive chair that
adding
doesn't work as
social
a chair.
prejudices. I don't know whether that. This seems to be a semi-grimdark setting, and so that's the only reason I actually care particularly much. Otherwise, I'd just like figure it out. But in a grimdark setting, it's good to have an idea of what grimdark stuff you'll likely encounter.
No! That's exactly... Fuck. Fridges aren't complicated. They don't... Alright.
Excellent. Cool.
Oh, avoiding oppression. It never... Yeah, as an always DM, it never dawned on me to avoid oppression.
The oppressed minority. You work, and then you work, and then you. Oh no. Spicy pineapple.
What?
Thren, spicy pineapple.
Okay.
Influence, I believe, is how you would pronounce that, though I am not 100%.
I want spicy pineapple. They used to sell spicy pineapple at Winco over here. I haven't been in since
It's like
the
a
shutdown.
pepper. Okay, I understand. Like I didn't know what it was. I couldn't tell if it was like a creature.
The spicy
I think it's
pineapple?
I think it's like a I think it's like a pepper.
I think it probably looks like a pineapple, but it's spicy.
No.
I think it sounds
Slow down,
delicious.
it's in the book.
Yeah, spicy pineapple.
Yeah, you
It's like a
got it,
snake.
Yeah, right? I was like, is that a snake or a plant?
It sounds
I believe
delicious.
it is yes, I believe it is a plant.
It would be unsurvivable if this were on a not an eating day.
Yeah.
But it is an eating day.
I like the moth burger, as you can tell because I'm stuffing my fat face with chips. Well, not as fat anymore. I'm gaining weight again. That's a good sign.
Excellent question.
Rather than liters.
Yeah.
Interesting thought. That seems fairly extreme. I know that they have a tendency to rely on bureaucracy, and then they can short circuit that bureaucracy temporarily with a republic system, but they don't see that as being a permanent solution to things, because in their mind the purpose of power is exclusive to the meeting of the needs of the people through the distribution of those things which are necessary, which is something that humanity should probably have figured out a long time ago and is still fucking up, and eventually is forced upon them for their own fucking good.
It sounds to me like the general existence there would be that if you are good at a thing, you'll likely be assigned to that job if you'll do the job.
I mean, I think the important thing about the Thren is if I play one, I have at least 2 boyfriends/girlfriends.
Yeah, so about that part of the description is straight up just me. And I'm a little creeped out, actually. Like it says, polyamorous relationships are the norm among Thren. Typical Thren will have up to 3 life-bonded partners and several dalliances. Okay, again, that's a little close to home. It took both instances of dalliances. That's weird. It didn't take the change that was made by the previous author. It brought the change and the original version. It did it for every instance of dalliance. I'm not correcting this. I can't spell out the best of times. I might not even have deleted the correct dalliance. I don't even know. Anyhow, yeah, it's a bit much. I think somebody might need to, I don't know, add that disclaimer,
honestly
not meant to represent any persons living or dead at the beginning, if you'd be so kind, because I'm feeling a little seen here.
Man, okay, honestly, I'm at the point of it may or may not be accurate to roast you for being a filthy homestead. Not that I can say anything, because so am I, but like, I'm just saying, it sounds an awful lot like you trolled through the wikis of Homestuck. Oh no. This is awesome. I like these races.
I do too.
Okay. So this is all very interesting.
The lady who is underneath humanity. Yes, absolutely. That is absolutely true. 100%. I believe you completely. But the lady underneath humanity looks an awful lot like Trixie, and I think that's hysterical.
Yeah. By the way, those are like official uniforms, although most of them don't seem to be low cut. I think that might have been a modification that they made themselves.
You don't say.
Well, I don't know how much of the art you've seen, but they don't leave that much to the imagination. Not that they need to. In fact, if anything, mine will be worse. If we ever do, that's doomy. But I do tell my chat that if I die before my next stream, I'll see them in hell. So why wouldn't I be? But one of these days, Milky Way Alliance will probably be considerably worse, or better, depending on your opinion, because of things that I think are probably quite likely by the year of 2158 or whatever. Assuming again, humanity doesn't destroy itself first.
Hey Lamp, hey, if you end up going to hell, are you going to slide down the stripper pole?
I don't know. I mean,
your ass makes me think of Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, the picture. The picture.
There's a certain Seussianness there. I agree.
But
yeah.
I'm assuming that you've heard of Lil Nas X's most recent video, Lampe. If not, there's a stripper pole to hell. Yeah.
I love Sandex. So cute.
I do not have the practice for the stripper pole to hell. But I don't know what the alternatives might be. Right?
Ooh, that's a nice picture.
The most token. I have to ask. are the growths that are growing out of them? They look like something that's either like plant based or fungus based.
What? What are you talking about?
Moose token. At least that's how I think you pronounce that. I scrolled down. I'm looking at the other races.
Oh, you're in the other document. You're in the full document. What? You guys?
I don't know.
You guys are so responsible that I might as well have not bothered with the shorter document. Usually you guys are like, share the book again, please. And I was like, one of you is the one who shared the book last time.
I don't even know how I got this link.
I will never understand you guys, but I adore you. You are the closest thing I shall ever know to friends.
They are vaguely plant. Actually, that sounds like a bit of a mix between the two, because moss is very much a plant, but also sort of a fungus.
Like lichen?
I don't know. They said moss.
Fred Meyer.
Huh? Moss.
All right,
Yeah,
hold this. Plus humanoid?
Anyway, so the important thing about
humanoid moss.
The character I want, because theoretically this is about learning things and the characters we want, is I want a dumb beat stick, and I want to be either a Thren or a Murai.
My instincts tell me that the Murai is probably going to provide the better beat stick. Hold on.
Yeah, Threns have that -1 to strength, right?
Who was the melee person in the one I was watching? The melee person, the one I was watching. Oh, never mind. That was a synth. They were a robot. That doesn't count.
Thren are squid.
I want to do a moose token now. They're a plant. They're plants.
Why?
That's not an thing.
Why are you always so weird?
I'm just like that.
I mean, you being unpredictable is why most of the things that we have done have been good when they were.
But it's also been why they've been bad when they were.
No, they're bad because people are bad at communicating, or worse, because we had somebody that should not have been on stream. I think that most of our problems generally come from the fact that we should have been a little more cognizant of who should be on stream and who should not in the early days. Just because somebody signed up to play a game doesn't mean that we should broadcast them over the internet, or that they even want that, even though they were like, well, I like this game, I want to keep playing, I guess we're all streaming it now. That really wasn't fair to them or to us. Or to the fucking chat, which I'm not used to having around. Okay, so I need to invite you to this so that you can play it.
Yes.
That would be very appreciated.
Yeah.
By the way, Miriam, if you could send me that link to that ocean thing you saw.
God damn it!
Scroll down, motherfucker. It's on the right. Open it and go to I went to games. So don't go to the page where you launch into game.
Okay, I it's called Ocean Treasure, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
There you go. I'd love to play some more Deep Sea.
Well, if you want to play more Deep Sea, there's literally a Deep Sea in Nostria.
Well,
yeah, it's not the
It's
same.
not the same.
It's not the same as me getting to play a goddamn.
Hagfish.
Yeah, that is one of the most fun experiences I've ever had.
Wait. If
Honestly,
I'm a DM, how come I can't invite people? Let's try.
Honestly, I need you to understand something, Shara. You putting us through the Deep Sea is the one thing that has rehabilitated me towards being willing to play 5th edition. Like, until we played Deep Sea and you let me be a goddamn hackfish, I was already set to just swear off 5th edition.
Do I have to rejoin as GM? I've always just made my own, so I had no idea that you could be a GM in a place and not be able to invite people. I did not know that was a thing.
Mm-hmm. Skeleton spider. That's not how skeleton spiders work. I'm offended.
Me too, because that's not a thing. I mean, it would just be a carpus, right? You just have chitin.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really can't invite anybody to this. That seems ridiculous. Invite players. Right here. There's a button and all. But I have to do the share link right here. Okay. It's just not in the chat. For as near as I can tell, no reason at all. Copy link address. And then there's terrible lag, so in about 8 minutes, she'll start telling me how to do it.
Hey, you shouldn't share that link on stream without permission.
Excellent point. That should not have been on the display.
Just say.
I forgot that I was displaying this window. I even have this window over here to do that stuff in, and I was not using it for that. Oh, well, what's done
Naughty
is done.
Lampe!
I can't undo it. I'm pretty sure they made this one just for us because I'm the only one in it.
Thankfully, there aren't that many people here.
Yeah,
and it's probably not that big of that.
Well, it's mostly them, frankly. All
Probably. Right. I don't know who's here.
They're gonna. Their show's just starting, so they'll probably have to take responsibility any minute now. So now, you know what? I'm sharing it in here because I trust everybody that's here. 3 of them reluctantly, but nonetheless. Well, one of them's James, and you never know. I love James, but there's a chance that he'll do troll things. Hopefully, he got his drawing penises on the maps for no reason out of his system 10 years ago. We've all passed a lot of water since then.
I don't. I'm lamp stars. Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. I don't know. The gin is just like right.
An error was encountered. Let's try it again.
No, I don't think you should have access to this.
It's ecologically friendly.
Actually.
Purple. Fuck yeah. Tool use.
You can have that video.
Adaptive species, motherfucker. I got thumbs and everything. Including gin in my soda.
No, you don't get to see my camera roll 20. Fuck you.
We'll get your avatar figured out. I am all for Lizard Lady Sheriff. It's gonna be amazing.
One day.
It blows my mind that's even a thing. I remember when they first started trying to do that with what do they call the person who runs the table at a casino?
Dealer.
Yes, thank you. They started doing that with casino dealers. And it was creepy as fuck. Because they looked like human beings, but their eye contact was worse than mine.
Because they were AIs or something?
Yes, because they were digital avatar artificial people that were the dealers at the tables. And they would like move slightly and then tilt their head a little bit and then show off kind of too much teeth for what was happening with their eyes that didn't look at any of the people that were at the table. They just sort of like scanned around. And I was like, that is a tiger. If that makes eye contact with you, it's going to eat you. That is not a human.
Oh, Matt can't even hear us very good because his internet is shit.
Yeah, dude. Okay, that happens to me all the time. I would recommend that you close down restart the browser if you can, if that's too much to ask because you got 80 tabs and 2 things running, which I usually do. I mean, hell, look at this shit. Not that you could see it, but if you could see it, you would be appalled. Trust me, I'm appalled. And this is what I do 3 times a week. But yeah, restart it because it's not worth it. It's not worth it trying to keep up. It sucks, especially if you're a mod, dude. Like all hell could break loose, and you wouldn't know for like 15 minutes. Then who's gonna ban the AI, right? Who's gonna ban the robots that come in here and annoy us? All right. Yeah, we have a Roll20, and people are in it. It is fantastic. Jesse is here using the name Jesse, which is mind blowing.
Oh no, I should change that.
I keep calling Jimmy Jesse. What? What's happening?
Caleb has a name? What? That makes it even worse. Not Jesse.
Not Jesse. Yes, that's a great name. It's like the plethora of Lees. All right.
Lampe, you should accept my video input so you can get my video input.
Thanks for reminding me. Thank you for your time. Like, comment, subscribe, and share.